Hello, right, so couldn't find a better place to explain this. I'm just gonna, it's something that I found, well, somebody told me, that's how you find things out, isn't it, really? Either find out somewhere, speak to people, pick other people's brains. Right, so the thing that I'm going to talk about right now, I'm going to try and do it quickly, is it's about electric cars. It's about electric cars, and it's about right, so we need to talk in terms of percentages. So here we are at electric charging point. You couldn't think of a better place to do this. This is a problem with it, this is sort of relating to the fire at Heathrow in a roundabout. Well, not in a roundabout sort of way, but so like if there's 100% power in the grid, right? So for 50 or 60 years, let's just say, I'm making like, I'm not telling exact figures here, I'm just making stuff up in my head just to explain what it is. The figures might be inaccurate. But imagine that for 50 or 60 years you had these vehicles there, these vehicles being run off fossil fuels, so it's diesel and petrol, for 50, 60 years. And then all of a sudden, and let's just say, when did it really kick off? 2020, 2018, 2015, they really started this shit. Let's just say it was 2020. 2020, they said, right, so 12%, this says 12% of power in the UK, the weight of power vehicles was petrol and diesel. And all of a sudden, in 2020, it's not 12%, it's say like it's 10% of that is coming from the grid. That's why you've got a grid problem. Well, there's not enough power. Plus you're talking about renewables. So you're limiting, so you shut down power stations, right? You've shut down power stations. And you shut them down. So look at all this shit. That's all coming off the grid. All the power. So where's it coming from? So you've limited the power that you once had because you shut the power stations down. So you're now using wind farms and solar panels. What else? You know, you're not using the same power that you had. The coal-fired power stations, they're all gone, aren't they? So now you've got this thing here being powered off the grid. So all these cars are being powered off the grid, they're not being powered off petrol and diesel. So that's why you've got a limited capacity, I would say. And that's why at Heathrow, the thing caught fire, so it could be it was overloaded, it was struggling to cope with what it was supposed to be doing. And not only that, the power stations have been shut. So you've got a double, it's like two elements of the problem. Does that make sense? Don't ask if it makes sense, it does make fucking sense. It means that there's more pressure on our grid, the national grid. All these companies that run it, the national grid, doesn't it? It's companies. It's no. So all these fucking cars there are being powered by electric. I mean, I know, I'm not talking about where the power actually comes from, because we need oil and all the rest of it to make everything. So that's why the whole thing in the UK, Great Britain and Western Europe and Western civilization it's just a flawed concept, and they're doing it. So the people who are going to suffer are poor people, because they always suffer, don't they? So that's basically there's less power in being made available because the power stations have been knocked down. Because obviously the problem with wind farms are when it's not windy, or when it's too windy, or solar panels when it's sunny. It's not sunny, it's Scotland. It's your weather in Scotland. So let's just say it was 12%, and now it's 2%. So it's 98% coming off the grid. That's just like a made up figure. It could be quite accurate. I don't know, a good guess, but so that's the problem that we've got, and they don't talk about that, and nobody gives a fuck. But they just expect all that shit just to work, and it doesn't work. Well, Heathrow proves it doesn't work. You know, when it caught fire and the whole place was shut. That's utterly ridiculous. Why you not got a diesel generator? You know, well, because they got rid of that, because that company will have all that bullshit on their, you know, their blog. Oh, we're sustainable, we're doing this, that and the other and all that shit. That's why. Alright, thanks for watching, bye. It's all smoke, it's all lies, mostly lies, aye. You just want to ignore it all and just pretend it's not happening, but it is happening. There you go, lies. So, I don't know why that lights are on that thing. Who knows why. That's all our taxpayers' money getting wasted there. It is. Not to worry. Bye.